I remember the fundraising for Will Adams. I was at school at the time. Many people, including the headmaster of that school, was of the opinion that they should build cottages rather than that terribly ugly stone monument on the A2. The clock, by the way, rarely ever worked. I think they've put it right since I've written the song, which you may say is my contribution to good timekeeping in the town. Woodlands Road dump, it was a chalk pit. We used to go there and get newts and salamanders, tadpoles. It was quite a beautiful chalk pit, as chalk pits go. When they started to turn it into a dump, the people living locally wanted a reduction of rates. But at the inquiry that followed, Gillingham Councillor was reported to have said, it is the finest dump in Europe. A man has been twice from Sweden to see it. Well, you know, this is the stuff of folk songs. I mean, how can one turn up a chance like that?
Roses are lovely, violets are shy, the daily a family, a joy to the eye. But none of these flowers in bouquet or clump can ever compare with the Woodlands Road dump. Oh, the thrill of the thought of it in my throat's a lump. God bless you and keep you, dear Woodlands Road dump. The envy of Europe, a joy to behold. We've gained on the dump what we lost on the gold. 'Cause Segan is jealous, Cascad's got the hum. They've no tip to compare with the Woodlands Road dump. Oh, the thought of it, thrill of it, in my throat's a lump. God bless you and keep you, dear Woodlands Road dump. The pilgrims are coming by sea and by plane, and once they have seen it, they'll all come again. Oh, for the words to record their surprise when first dirty dump meets a covered sight. Oh, the thrill of the thought of it in my throat's a lump. God bless you and keep you, dear Woodlands Road dump. Safeguard it, cherish it, citizens all. Celebrate its birthday with a big civic ball. Then this searching question won't make your heart jump. Daddy, what did you do for the Woodlands Road dump? Oh, the thought of it, thrill of it, in my throat's a lump. God bless you and keep you, dear Woodlands Road dump. Oh, the thrill of it, thought of it, in my throat's a lump. God bless you and keep you, dear Woodlands Road dump.
Dead Man's Island, as it's really called, is just off Sheppey in the mouth of the river. And during the Napoleonic Wars, prisoners were kept in the prison hulks there, just off the Isle of Grain. Inevitably, some of them died of typhoid, and I suppose there was a traditional fear of a relatively unfathomed disease, and they buried them on the marshland, which is now called Dead Man's Isle. When I was a boy, we used to go down there, and you could quite frequently pick up skulls, bones, skeletons, where the tide had eroded away the graves. And many years later, thinking about that experience of taking a skull and throwing it into the water, I thought of this poor poilu lying there by the sea, and in Paris, the great tomb of Napoleon, with all the honours showered upon the principal villain.
Man's Isle I found a skull, as snowy white as any gull, whose high-pitched cry, both sad and harsh, the constant music of this marsh. On a prison hulk he died, his grave now rifled by the tide. What French mother gave him birth? Is this all her son was worth? Great Boney died on Helen's Isle, and on his name such glories pile. Poor Lou lying by the sea, what tongue now tells your history? Did some French girl your absence mourn? By war a woman's heart is torn, for women wiser than their men put little trust in sword or pen. March on, march on, march on, ye brave. Where glory ends, there waits the grave. You'll lie forgot, and all your deeds, white skull among the water weeds. This all your harvest reaped from war, an open grave where waders corn, your poor bones bleached by salt and sun, the bitter fruit of sword and gun. I took the skull and threw it wide, then made my wish upon the tide, and prayed the sea by this one chance might take the relic back to France, and prayed the sea by this one chance might take the relic back to France.
Darling Banks. It's an exquisite place. It's most beautiful. What can you say about it? It was animal land, Dour. I think it comes from, according to Philip Morris's History of Gillingham, it comes from the Saxon, meaning animal land. And I'm of the view that if anybody ever spots planners doing anything there, they will be totally justified in killing them on sight.
Will you come to Darling Banks to see the summer show? High in the blue, the lark gives thanks, grasshoppers leg the bow. And all around this lovely ground, sweet wildflowers grow. And every pair can find love there. Oh, come, love, will you go? When summer's gentle breezes sigh, then Cupid plays his pranks, and swift his loving arrows fly along the Darling Banks. And all around this lovely ground, sweet wildflowers grow, and every pair can find love there. Oh, come, love, will you go? Houses stand like nuns serene, fair valleys round them wind. When nature worked upon the scene, 'twas love she had in mind. And all around this lovely ground, sweet wildflowers grow, and every pair can find love there. Oh, come, love, will you go? Shaded by the flowery thorn, we'll see the many dyes that nature uses to adorn the birds and butterflies. And all around this lovely ground sweet wildflowers grow, and every pair can find love there. Oh, come, love, will you go? And every pair can find love there. Oh, come, love, will you go?
Footbridge, you know, it's 13th century bridge. It's pretty well much as it was when it was first built. And if you walk from there, you can come up through the farms towards Countless Stones. It's exquisite. Any time you go, spring, summer or winter, it is most beautiful. If you look from Bluebell Hill, you'll see the enormous twists and turns. And I think that life is something like that. Perhaps courtship is like it. The twists and turns, and yet the flowing to the inevitable result, the sea.
On Aylesford Bridge, one summer morning, a sudden fancy came to me. In my mind, the idea dawning, the countless stones I'd go and see, twisting, turning, wandering free, flows Medway softly to the sea. Toward the downs past purple strife, by hedges hung with wildwood pine, and swaying wheat that overshadowed the Pimpernel as red as wine. Twisting, turning, wandering free, flows Medway softly to the sea. Hard by the stones I saw her standing, sun's bright gold caught in her hair. In her eyes sweet summer gladness, and this is sweet beyond compare. Twisting, turning, wandering free, flows Medway softly to the sea. Together now by old Kit's Cotty, cross Bluebell Hill, through Westfield Wood, all the birds made such rare music. This was love we understood. Along the Pilgrim's Way to Boxley, oh, the beauty of these downs. Here spring tries her fledgling fancy. Nature wears her finest gown. Twisting, turning, wandering free, flows Medway softly to the sea. Now by the dusty lane to Detling, the cock horse in for shade and rest. We made a key we knew for certain would unlock love's treasure chest. Twisting, turning, wandering free, flows Medway softly to the sea. Twisting, turning, wandering free, flows Medway softly to the sea.
Hey there, Mr. Medway, hey there, what do you know? Reckon you've learned plenty and hungry and low.
Hey there, Mr. Medway, hey there, what do you know? Tell me about the caveman and hairy old Jumbo. How about those ancient Britons washing out their smalls, or dashing about with loads of woad in their coracles?
Hey there, Mr. Medway, hey there, what do you know? Reckon you've learned plenty at every ebb and flow.
What about the Roman in his mini-skirt, outlandish Jutish gentry, or old King Ethelbert? Did you see King Vortigern, the white boy's youngest horser? Oh, what a tale you could tell, there's no one who knows more, sir.
Hey there, Mr. Medway, hey there, what do you know? Reckon you've learned plenty at every ebb and flow.
Lads without pegs on their heads, the Viking and the Dane, must look like cows out for a row, bet you laugh like a drain. Tell me about the Normans building the keep, and poor old Saxon peasants with naught but woe to reap. The double Dutch invaders, boom defence and all, who pranged old Upnor Castle with flying cannonball.
Hey there, Mr. Medway, hey there, what do you know? Reckon you've learned plenty at every ebb and flow. Hey there, Mr. Medway, hey there, what do you know? Reckon you've learned plenty at every ebb and flow.
In the Natural History Museum in London, there are the remains of the Upnor elephant, which was one of the hairy mammoths. And when they were widening the road at Wainscott, the kids would often bring to school the teeth of the hairy mammoth. I think this gave me the idea, and I visualised the changing history from the hairy mammoth and cavemen right away up to the last invaders, the Dutch, who apparently were far more welcome in the Medway towns than British soldiers. At Willsborough, which is part of Ashford, there is an inn called the William Harvey Inn. And on the lawn of the inn, there is the statue of William Harvey. As you may recall, William Harvey was the first man to discover the circulatory movement of the blood. A rumour has it that his statue was found on a dump at Tenterden, and no doubt the publicans saw an opportunity to use it and named the inn. Added to that, he's supposed to have stayed there, had some connection with the people who lived in this house. He was, in fact, born at Folkestone, and so is one of our notable Kent characters.
William, he was christened, friends all called him Bill, a champion of medicine against every human ill. Beauties on the surface, Bill wasn't taken in. He searched till he discovered what?
What?
Went on beneath the skin. Oh, the moon goes round the earth goes round the sun, blood goes round the body. Sanguine is circulatory and simply everyone. Physician extraordinary, James' first citation. In Latin, Bill had written a book on blood and circulation. Foreign quacks were up in arms, it's rubbish, rotten mush. Hang like a bat, you'll find out that to your head the blood will rush. William Harvey is an English schweinhund and a no good boil. Everyone knows that when the freedom mouse, the bat, hangs upside down, the blood rushes to the head. We will try an experiment. We will turn this fellow up so. Now, if we could put a tap on his head. I have a tap card. Ah, that is a handy tap. Now, we screw the tap in and turn it on and all the blood... Gott in Himmel, nothing. But that proves nothing. He may be an empty-headed fellow. Oh, the moon goes round the earth goes round the sun, blood goes round the body. Sanguine is circulatory in everyone. Physician now just ordinary, in long hair Charlie's wore. The blood in circulation then was wider than before. Naseby doused the cavaliers, stoked up the Roundhead fire. Bill, who'd had enough of blood, decided to retire. Oh, the moon goes round the earth goes round the sun, blood goes round the body. Sanguine is circulatory and simply everyone. In the year of 1657 he went out of circulation. His statue stands at his namesake in to show man's admiration. If Ashford gets his hospital before man reaches Mars, will he take pride of place there and leave the four-rail bars? Oh, the moon goes round the earth goes round the sun, blood goes round the body. Sanguine is circulatory and simply everyone. Hey!
Well, now, Boxley Hill. It amazes me that there are not 15 or 20 songs about Boxley Hill. The Romans dug there for tin. They always used to dig out there some of the finest fuller's earth. It's one of the rare earths. It was dug out in that area. And I think that it is one of the most beautiful spots in our country. You stand there and it sings to you. All you've got to do is to take down the words.
Hear the spring singing, cast gloom away. Bluebells are ringing, blackbirds now lay. Join in the music, sing it who will. Green capes unfolding, shade Boxley Hill. Primroses perfume the yet chilly breeze. Scent of dark violets guide humble bees. Anemone white stars like patterns of snow mock the cruel winter that died long ago. family collection, old-fashioned but still, waiting your pleasure up there on the hill. Hear the spring singing a conjuring rune, join in the music, give voice to the tune. Hear the spring singing, cast gloom away, bluebells are ringing, blackbirds now lay. Join in the music, sing it who will, green capes unfolding, shade Boxley Hill.
Well, Folkestone fling, you know, fishing apparently is the most popular sport in England. And enormous numbers of people go down there to try their luck. I suppose with the price of cod these days, it's a 17-pounder is worth getting. And it occurs to me that fishermen have always been noted for wonderful stories. And I often wondered how many people buy their fish from Lala, a very well-known Folkestone character, in the fish market. All's fair, I suppose, in love and fishing.
We set out from Folkestone with all our fishing gear. The waves were 92 feet high, the sky was looking queer. Bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows. Hey, landlord, pour more beer. Greenlands towered above the mast, mackerel flew overhead. Seas in spars, we knocked them down, they fell like lumps of lead. Bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows. Hey, landlord, pour more beer.
From out those sliding glassy hills we'll kill the cork crabs, 100 cod a ton a place and 20 dozen dabs.
Bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows. Hey, landlord, pour more beer. Lobsters fell like meteorites, oysters dropped like rain. No man has seen the like of it and never will again. Bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows. Hey, landlord, pour more beer. Worldwide record shattered, fame beyond our graves. Then a winkle washed into the boat and she sank beneath the waves. Bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows, bumping on the billows. Hey, landlord, pour more beer.
Well, in the castle gardens, you know, it's very popular to knock Rochester because it doesn't meet with modern traffic requirements. But I think if you go up through the East Gate, round Bowley Hill and the Vines, you're likely to see as beautiful a scene as you're likely to see in any town. It reminds me very much of Canterbury. And if you go there in spring in the castle gardens, the gardeners there should be complimented on their daffodils. There are literally thousands. From the wall you can see the weekend sailors mucking about in boats. You can see the old men who past it who lean on the pier, and I often wonder what they're thinking about, perhaps the youth. And I wonder how many people go by it, never actually look at it. And for them, beauty is something that, as I put in the song, you buy by the pound, or you don't see it because it's been there so long.
In the castle garden, early one morning in May, cathedral bells were ringing in praise of that spring Sunday. The river shone like silver, light breeze fanned the Bowley Hill, and dewdrops sparkled like diamonds on every daffodil. on every daffodil. Seagulls were like snowflakes, the lonely seas in their cry, and pigeons from the castle cooed softly in reply. Sunday souls on the water with all their boating gear, and all the men quietly remembering leant idly on the pier. Leant idly on the pier, wing-spangled there a glitter, the loving season was near. Each tree unfurled a banner, so verdantly sweet and dear, and all around the castle, along the river bank, this earth was magically conjuring, the earth was singing thanks. The earth was singing thanks. Beauty's where you find it, some measure it by the pound, and others just don't see it. It's been so long around. Try one fine Sunday morning in April or in May. Maybe you'll see what I saw on that fine spring Sunday. On that fine spring Sunday.
Well, now, about the good winds, which the sands have been notorious for centuries. They shift about, you know. There's many a legend sprung up about that. They're supposed to be haunted. I was passing there, 44 years ago, I suppose it is, and there was a light mist, and I saw black shapes moving about on the sands. The tide was out. They were grizzling for flatfish. And again, many years later, the scene came back into my mind, and the result was the legend of the Goodwin Sands.
Black winter night and a raging sea, the mermaids broom at the wind's mercy, straight to her grave on the Goodwin Sands. Crossing the sky her masthead stands, crossing the sky her masthead stands. All boats were smashed and the ship sunk down. A falling tide left a strip of brown. Onto the sand went a man and a boy, but none could hear their faint ahoy, 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 their faint ahoy. Morning broke with scanty light, a thick mist hid the land from sight. The mist persisted through the day, the Goodwin Sand held fast its prey, the Goodwin Sand held fast its prey. Out from Pegwell Bay, on a good clear day, her masthead black against the sky, in the clutching hands of the shifting sands, her buried hulk will ever lie, her buried hulk will ever lie. Some say that when a white mist rolls, the light she blows, and the bellboy tolls, dark shapes move in the briny freight. Ahoy, ahoy, they're calling yet. Ahoy, ahoy, they're calling yet. When the light she blows, and the bellboy tolls, and over the water sea freight rolls, on a strip of sand 20 men and a boy, whose ghosts are calling, ahoy, 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 ahoy.